Restructuring is already taking place in Nigeria, Fasua says. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post hot juicy news update. Please click on the notification bell. Dr. Tope Kolade Fasua, who has just been appointed Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on economic affairs, is an economist, writer, and the 2019 presidential candidate of Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, ANRP. In this interview, he speaks about the administration of President Bola Tinubu, how restructuring is already taking place in Nigeria, among others. Joy Anibugu brings the assets. How will you describe the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his policies so far? They asked. He replied, starting a government is never easy, so the administration of President Bola Tinubu has its own challenges, but they have been trying to do it right. They did some policies that were contentious, the forced subsidy removal, and the unification of exchange rate. I believe that Nigerians will get the benefit with time. The one of deregulation will come faster, and the one on narrow unification. I think they need to thread carefully on that because if the naira keeps going down, it will continue to lead to inflation. But the bravery they have shown is good. New ministries have been created such as blue economy, gas, housing, and a few more. It shows a government that is ready to reinvent Nigeria and go in a good direction. But can we really say that democracy is working in Nigeria? They asked. He replied, I think people have to go and study history, and I'm a historian. I wrote a book on that, which is entitled Before We Destroy Our Democracy. Even America has been trying to perfect the concept of democracy. Prior to that, we were used to monarchy, and this has its own issues. Even in the United States of America, it was more violent than it is in Nigeria today. The white men that we admire today have been through more ups and downs than what we are going through today. You might think our democracy is not working, but I think it is working. It will only get better if you are intelligent, if you also delve into history to know that there is nothing going on here that has never happened before. They asked him, some people have called for true federalism and devolution of power to state. What are your thoughts? He replied, talking about true federalism, let me also use the example of the United States of America. Till tomorrow, the federal government gives grants to the states in America. This is what we call block grant, which is grants given to states in block to do whatever they want with it. Then there are categorical grants, which are the grants given to state for categorical things, for education, transport, and some others. The state that takes more grants in the United States is the Mississippi, which is the poorest state in America. There are other states around that poverty belt, as they call it. There are also middle belt states such as South Carolina, North Carolina, New Mexico, and others. Some of them are not doing so well. Louisiana is very poor as well. This one collects more than a state like New York, where the financial center is because they have a lot of money. However, every state gets something. So if we are talking of true federalism as the winner takes all, and everybody generates what they want and stuff like that, it is going to be a unique system of government that will run in Nigeria. We have to tread carefully, otherwise we're going to end up creating monsters. Maybe because of poverty, our people are not too mature, and before you know it, all sorts of conflict. The fact is that many powers have been devolved, which the states have not picked up. Now, states can build rail system. Only Lagos State has built one. Rivers State started one and abandoned it. Same goes for Kano State. Nobody has told them not to. Talking about the power sector, this has almost been totally deregulated. Even the police. The moment the state governors saw that the federal police would not fund state police, they backed down on it. Everything is a process. We are still rewriting the history, which is relevant to democracy. There was a time that the federal government felt that power is a national affair and that nobody should touch the national grid. Then the understanding of electricity and technology of the electricity was not as intense as it is now, even though the wise man is still evolving. Now, they let some of those things go because it's not a big deal. Yes, they need more power, but make sure that you're not even taken from the premise of revenge or disdain. That is something we have to learn. If you are doing it on the basis that we are better on this side and that those people are backward, never you say such a thing. The first thing we must get rid of is immaturity in the political space. Immaturity does not do well in politics. I think we have gotten to the level of state police, but are the states ready to fund state police? Some of them have something akin to state police, like in the southwest they have Amotekun, and you can now break them into states. They asked him, "Do you support generational change in our political life?" He replied, "Yes, I agree, but they must line up and never think things for granted." I always remember that there are 60 years old people that are fitter than 30 years old people. There are 70 years old people who are blessed with everything. 80 years old that are sharp. You cannot tell them to go and die. They can even contest at that age. They have more money, more connections, and more wisdom. So where will the young people pass to defeat them? I have tried it before in 2019, and I realized that Nigeria is versed for a young person to run one massive campaign. Imagine a campaign of 5,000 people in the state capital. The welder you leave his work and come and meet you. The farmers refuse to go to their farm because you're coming to speak in the state capital. So you have to find money for them. 5,000 times 2 people, maybe 10 million is gone. And you haven't talked about the logistic of a campaign itself in just one location. Maybe you have to spend about 20 million. By the time you multiply that by the 36 states of the federation, that is 20 million times 36, which is 722 billion. You can see the amount of money we're talking about. If those 5,000 people vote for you, that is 180 people. So it's a Herculean tax for the young people who want to try. They should try. I tried it in 2019. They asked him, "Will you agree with some people that Nigeria is a failed state?" He replied, "Certainly, Nigeria is not a failed state. Let us get off those negative thoughts about Nigeria. I know many countries that are doing well in anything, and the people are not going around to crucify their countries. I know many countries that are doing well in anything, that are not doing well in anything, and the people are not going around to crucify their countries. Of course, we were going to be a failed state when Boko Haram came, but they have suddenly disappeared. Though we still have pockets of banditry here and there, we have kidnapping in some parts of Nigeria. Do you know that 30,000 people get shot to death in the US on a yearly basis by gangs and so on? You people still rush there as if it is when you get there you will get all the money you need for the rest of your life in the airports. Now this one cracked me up. Okay, make we dey watch as this man used to talk say things go relieve. Some people go use shallow mind believe am. Some people no go believe am at all. Alright, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for turning in to listen. Until I come your way next time.